my privilege to introduce to you guys the creator of Continuum, Simon Barrett.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. And I'm going to get right to it and introduce the cast. So if you'll please save your applause for the end. I'll bring in the whole gang. Rachel Nichols, Victor Webster, Eric Knudsen, Lexa Doyle, Olivia Peterson, Stephen Lobo, Omari, Jen Spence, Roger Cross, and that's it. So before we get started, we're going to show you guys a little sneak peek of season 2. So if you draw your attention to the big screen here, you'll be the first people in the world who see this.
Answer some questions.
So what's the big change? I thought your job is something that officially is back in the game.
The fight that we're facing requires a little outside-the-box thinking.
This is going to hurt.
It's not too late to reconsider it. You made my bed. I like lying in it.
The whole world knows who you are. Someone calling you a hero. You're the best thing to fulfill.
I'm a stranded time traveler from the year 2077, using technology that hasn't even been invented yet.
That's bullshit.
So is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Yes. Tell me about Alex Sadler.
I mean, I want to help you. I know you're trying to do the right thing. I just don't know whether or not I'm working against the message.
What about me? Why am I here? Why didn't you send me back?
We both know that you're not what you say.
What I will not stand for is you questioning the loyalty of my officers.
Why are you following me?
I have some electrical skills for a guy in your line of work. You look very pretty, Jasper.
The future might be in play.
How do you know the future hasn't already been changed?
I'm going to go home to my family. I want the grade to fail, and I will do everything to ensure that happens.
Are you sure that there's some light that you can shed on this, Carlos? You sure you don't have some questions of your own?
Nobody's seen that. These guys haven't even seen that. Well, thanks very much for showing up and for supporting Continuum. As you guys know, it's going to be back on Sunday night, tomorrow, 9 p.m. on Showcase. So you're going to enjoy the first episode, I think, a lot. And we got 13 this season instead of 10, so I think that's also going to be an opportunity to tell more stories and get deeper into the mythology. So at some point we're going to open it up to Q&A, but first I'm going to sort of moderate and let the cast here have some fun with each other. And I asked them earlier in this week if they wanted to ask a question of any of their fellow castmates. So I think I'll start with that, and I'll start with Roger. Because he's a real shit disturber.
I didn't get that memo.
What? You can pass it along if you want.
Okay, no, how's this? Ooh, I can't even talk about it. No. Omari, what about that selfie you took this morning? What was the comment about that?
Oh, the selfie.
Yeah.
I didn't comment on that. So, for the record, I'm Omari Newton.
And I'm Roger Cross.
This is Roger Cross.
In case, there's been some confusion.
I know we're dressed. The glasses are the first clue. There's been some confusion.
Tell the story about the Twitter.
Well, I took a selfie today. I took a selfie. And again, the first clue that a selfie is not a selfie is when the person that you're taking a picture of is perfectly framed. It was like there, and I wrote, selfie, and it was a picture of Roger Cross. And the only comment was, looking good. So thank all of you for that. Thank you.
All right, Roger, thanks for getting us off on the right foot. Jennifer.
Yes. My question is for Eric. I would like to know what the very best piece of life advice you've ever gotten is.
Best life advice. I once got told by Brittany Murphy at one point that she asked if I had the fire in my stomach for acting. And it's like, all us actors kind of know, like when you get a really cool role, you have like this like really strong desire, and that's what she was talking about. She says if you ever lose that fire, then it's over, and you shouldn't be doing it anymore. And I still think that's true, and I still have that fire, and that's why I continue on. Continue on.
Good one. Omari.
My question is for the whole cast. How nervous were you on a scale of 1 to 10 when you found out you'd be working with me?
11.
69.
No, I'm kidding. A question for Rachel. A serious question for Rachel. So you seem to play a lot of badass, actiony type of women. How did you fall into this type?
What was the song? Okay, I think I got pretty lucky. It started with Alias. That was my first sort of action-oriented role, and my first fight sequence ever was on an oil rig dressed as a Russian hooker in a red wig off the coast of Santa Barbara. And so when you start there, you really kind of want more of it. Call me crazy. And I really started to enjoy it, and then the roles between whether it was G.I. Joe or Conan or playing Kira in Continuum, I kind of gravitate toward that strong female role, and I love it because when you see a fight scene cut together and you see yourself kicking ass, for the record, I don't think I could fight in real life, so let's just lay that out there, but I can look good doing it on film, so that's very fun.
Thanks. Stephen.
I don't have anything prepared. Luvia.
Yes, Stephen?
Will you tell us about your morning?
Wow, you guys really prepared.
No, but
I should have given you 3 weeks.
Okay. So my girlfriend is in a band, and I went to support her at the media club last night. And yeah. It's a great band called Low Spin, no big deal. WW, no. So like a responsible actress, I excused myself at a reasonable hour. Sent Omari home to get his, go home, put him in a cab.
That's right.
I had beauty sleep.
Yep.
And doesn't he look good?
I think so.
And I put myself in a cab and went home to fall asleep so I could sound somewhat articulate today. And I got home and I didn't have my house keys on me. So I proceeded to kind of curl up into a small little ball near the front door and wait for my girlfriend to come home. And of course, anyone that's involved in music knows you have to wait until the last band, you have to take all your gear, put it in the jam space, da-da-da-da. So it was a good hour and a half. I don't know if you guys were outside last night, early this morning at around 2 in the morning, but that's what I was doing, curled up by my front door.
And doesn't she look amazing, Mrs. Jones?
So that's what I was doing. Yeah, thanks for that, Stephen.
Maybe you're
Note
onto
to self,
something.
ask Stephen.
Eric.
Okay, my question is to Omari and Jen. We are nerds. In the show, we have a lot of complex dialogue. In real life. I was just wondering, for my own personal use, how you guys prepare such long, speechy, tech talk dialogue. How you guys prepare.
Oh God! No, just joking. I love it. I love it, Simon. I Wikipedia the crap out of it. Usually, is how I start, and then just repetition, man. Good old-fashioned repetition. Anyone who will bloody listen, which is usually my cats or my husband. So lucky them.
I will literally say anything someone puts in front of me. So, I don't even read it. I don't do any research. I don't read it. You can put, if Simon handed me a paper that said I'm an idiot, I would say it right now. So that's my trick. Blank slate.
How do I prepare? I also do the repetition thing. I think Jay-Z actually said if you repeat something scientifically, if you repeat something 18 times, it is permanently ingrained into your brain. Not permanently, but it'll be ingrained into your brain for the next couple of days. So if you repeat your dialogue 18 times, it's Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Well done.
So to give the honest answer, that's actually what I do as well. Just repeat it.
He's such a good actor, I can't tell if he's being serious.
What I'm saying is I'm the Jay-Z of sci-fi.
Rachel.
My question's for Steven. So, although obviously this episode hasn't aired yet, Pat Williams had this brilliant idea. Pat Williams had this brilliant idea that while you were being Kellogg and entertaining some lovely ladies on your yacht, that you might actually drop trow and stand up out of the hot tub, ass in camera. How were you going to do that?
I'm sweating just thinking about it. You know, we never actually ended up shooting.
I know,
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, I think Steve went around town and rented all of the boats so we couldn't shoot the scene we wanted to. He found every boat with a hot tub and rented it. Yeah.
How was I going to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I remember having a conversation with the wardrobe, like on the wardrobe track, going, what can we do here? How can you help me out on this?
It's called a sock.
Yeah, that's what we arrived at, you know? And then, I guess the night before, you know, I'm mentally preparing for like, okay, I can do this. I'm gonna, you know, it's part of the job. It's gonna be good for the character too. It's kind of, it's wacky. And then at the last minute, they couldn't get the boat. And I was like, man, come on.
All right, Victor. Burning question.
Let me see.
Yeah, Victor prepared. All right,
I'm trying to.
we have to pass.
Yeah. So, Victor, I'm trying to think if I want to ask a serious question. I'm just going to ask a serious question. I guess to anybody that wants to answer it, just real quick, if you could embody any character in real life that's on the show, who would it be? And real quickly, why? Is there anybody that has thought about that or has an answer?
I want to be Kellogg.
Why?
He's really rich.
Anybody else? Amari. You guys
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'd say Kiro. Why would I want to be anybody else?
You can't be yourself.
Oh, okay. Now you're adding that little chestnut?
You can't be yourself.
Either Garza or Sonia, because, well, they're both badass and they're pretty easy on the eyes. Girl power. We've got Jen Spence as well. I wouldn't choose to be any of the boys, I don't think.
I would also choose to be any of the women on the show.
Good answer.
He will be at punchlines later on, ladies and gentlemen. So.
I'm literally here all night. Take care of this.
That's true, he is.
Simon Barry.
Yes.
He's not on the show?
Big... Oh, I'm sorry. You only career on the show.
Not yet.
Biggest challenge for you to go through season 1, have it be the success it was, and then prepare for season 2?
Not blowing it. Living up to the expectations, I think. Making sure that we satisfied ourselves, you guys, and the fans. That's the tall order. I think we did it. I think we did it.
I have a question for Simon Manning. How many of the cast are going to get killed off in the next script based on the fact that we didn't really prepare what you asked us to prepare?
Well, now that I've seen you in action, I can, judge that later and start thinking about who's coming back and who isn't. No, that's the great thing about Time Travel Show. If you were alive in 2077, technically you may never be off the show. However, 2013 is another story. 2014 is another story. 2015, you better check with your agents. Make sure they're on board for 20.
Have I mentioned lately that I think you're really awesome?
Yes, Alexa. Every day. Luvia.
So, my question is for Lexa. So, has this ever happened? I mean, you've been doing this for a while. Has this ever happened to you where you're watching some of your work and you go, oh, balls, because I was trying to think of an appropriate swear word. I think balls is balls okay? Yeah, balls. Oh, balls. We say that all the time. I do. I didn't sell that line, or that was cheesy, or self. Okay. Not that that's ever happened to me, but how do you bounce back from that? What do you do? Does it affect you? Yeah.
Okay. So the process goes like this. Watch it, cringe, cry, question whether or not you're going to be an actor, careen down a shame spiral, pick yourself back up, brush your shoulders off, and say, I'm going to keep going. It's pretty much how it goes. And try and learn from your mistakes. But I'll tell you something, the careening down the shame spiral, whee!
Well, thanks for answering your own questions, guys. I appreciate that. I've got a bunch more here from Todd, our intrepid writer's intern, has collected from the internet and places beyond. So I'm going to ask you guys a few questions that the fans want to know the answers to. So Rachel, in season 2, Kira has been in our time for several months. She's developing a life here in our time. Can you envision a day where she questions her desire to go back home?
That's a really interesting question, because immediately I want to say no, absolutely not. She has a life in the future. She has her son. She has her husband. She's desperate to get home to them. But there is this underlying idea in season 2 that the longer time people spend in the present, the more they forget about what exists in the future. The idea for Kira innately is, how could I ever forget about my son and my husband, let alone get to the point where I actively am not trying to get home. So I want to say no immediately, but in my gut I feel like there is that possibility that it slips away so much that it almost begins to feel like it wasn't real.
That's good. For Victor, Carlos has been shown to play by the rules, but how does he justify covering for Kira even if he doesn't believe in her himself?
She doesn't play by the rules. She's the opposite of Carlos completely, but she's always got my back. She goes out there and she accomplishes things, and she's making a dent. She also has a mandate from Section 6, which I've been ordered to follow, to allow her to do anything at any means necessary, pretty much. So even though I don't agree with it, I'm following her orders in letting her do that, and that's how Carlos justifies it.
Okay. Eric, Alec is a computer genius and a self-proclaimed geek. What is his favorite comic book?
I've seen a few lying around, actually, around his lab. I think he would be a Spider-Man fan. I think he would like Spider-Man. He's a genius. Peter Parker is just a smart guy, and maybe one day Alec wants to be Spider-Man and genetically mutate himself. That's what I think.
Okay, I better take a note. Quickly. Do not do that.
Well, actually...
Lexa, fans want to know, what is your favorite thing about sci-fi fans?
Oh God, you know what? I hate to say it because it makes it sound like other fans are dumb, which I wouldn't say that, but they're so smart, so educated, so well read, so engaged, so intellectually challenging, and so committed. And some of them really like to dress in costume, which makes my heart sing. So that's my biggest, and the loyalty. The loyalty is actually what I kind of really dig about sci-fi fans. And they're kind of nerdy like me.
Yes, you are kind of a nerd. I've just discovered that you're a total Star Wars nerd.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd.
That's pretty cool. Luvia, this is a great question. Garza turned into a fan favorite in season 1, of course. When can we expect a spin-off?
I'm talking to my people right now. Actually, it's going to happen. We joke around about doing a product line because we call it Garza's Grunge. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah? Would you throw some? Yeah. Okay. It can happen. It can happen.
Yes, there are many marketing opportunities there. Stephen, Kellogg is one of those lovable rogues the audience loves to hate. As an actor, what are the challenges of playing a character who sees the world in shades of gray?
Well, you don't have to. I'm not really concerned about when I'm playing him. I'm not going. It's freeing because I don't have to worry about whether or not the audience loves or hates me because they both work. So it's fun. It's freeing. There's the parameters which he can, his moral parameters and boundaries are quite broad. So there's a lot available. Frees you up, it's more choices, it's more fun to be in.
Amari, Lucas is cocky when it comes to science, but timid against physical opponents.
Why is that
Describe Lucas in a fight.
Gangster. Winning. No, I think Tiger Blood, yeah. No, I think Lucas, he's an intellectual, right? And the thing that's cool about playing Lucas is, I get to go completely against type and act like a total coward. But I think he kind of reflects how most audience members would react in situations of violence. He's a civilian. He's not a soldier, right? So when stuff's popping off and these guys are shooting guns and stuff, I can just rely on my natural instincts to dive for cover. Did that answer the question?
You'd be dirty. I thought you would be dirty.
Well, I think if he was pushed, he would smack you with his MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
If he had to.
Yes. Sacrifice that.
Yeah, he would sacrifice that.
Cool. All right, good. That one I will rate. Jennifer, Betty is kind of the VPD's version of Alec, a smart, geeky tech nerd. Are you a nerd in real life?
Absolutely. I am in the sense that, I'm just kind of a straight-laced, kind of like a geek. Like, my husband all the time is just like, God, what a nerd. I'm a part of a book club, I do those but yet I don't know how to operate my computer properly. That is where I do differ from Betty quite a lot. So minus the tech stuff.
Nerd fail. Sorry, fail.
Minus the tech stuff, I'm a nerd. And, I'm always like, oh, where are my glasses? I don't know, stereotyping, but wearing contacts, but usually I wear my glasses. And I'm like, oh, I can't see, I gotta get my glasses, Anyway. So
all right, that's good.
That'll be.
Last question is for Roger. Roger, this isn't from the internet, this is just me. You seem to be on every frickin' show there is. Two-part question. A, how do you do it? And B, do you have a clone? Or twin?
You know all about that.
Really.
You created it.
How do you juggle 4 shows or whatever it is you're doing?
Well, it was only 3.
Oh.
The other one was just only a lot of work and a very supportive household, and I had to ask permission from my significant other, and she says, "Okay, go ahead." When the other show popped up, and just study, like he says, by rote. Do it as much as you can, and the nights you can't, you just go to sleep and hope for the best the next day.
Hard being so popular, Raji.
Because Steven's only got 2 shows. He's only got 2. So.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, I think we're going to open it up to your guys' questions now. So I think they've set up a mic right in front of the camera stand here, and at the other side, roughly parallel. So whoever wants to ask a question, feel free. Unless it's about a major plot point in season 2. Okay. Go ahead.
questions. One is, may I please have your hats again this year? And the other is, but as of all the episodes, which was your favorite?
Wow, good question. We'll start with Rachel.
Wow. Gosh, there were so many great episodes last season. I do have to say, episodes 1 and episodes 2 we shot together, and John Cassar directed them, and he's brilliant and lovely. And to set up a show that is so intricate and is so complicated and has so many moving parts and such interesting storylines and is so complex. The first 2 episodes of last season I thought were so well done, because you have to get an audience in and you have to explain a lot, and a lot happens in those 2 episodes to really set up everything that we did for the rest of season 1 and now in season 2. So I would have to say a combination of those 2.
Cool. And yeah, I think there are new hats this season. In fact, we have some set aside for you guys here. Not all of you, of course, just certain ones. But we'll get to that at the end of the panel here.
Thank you.
No problem. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. One of the things I love about Continuum is actually it takes place in Vancouver. You're not only shot in Vancouver, but it's a very Canadian-based show. And I'm just wondering, because it aired in Sci-Fi in the States, I'm just wondering what's the reaction been like to American fans to a show that takes place in Vancouver, BC, and they may not be familiar with a lot of the street names you see, like Grenville or Canby or Arbutus. So I'm just wondering, how does the reception been like in the States?
I don't think it's been any different. Taking place in any large sort of cosmopolitan North American city, I'm very happy and not surprised to see that American audiences completely accept it. I haven't seen any kind of thing, because we're not that unfamiliar.
If the show is good, it doesn't matter where it's set.
Exactly. If the storytelling
said that earlier today.
Yeah, totally.
We really wanted to set it in Abbotsford, but the network wouldn't let us. Maybe the spin-off. Yes?
Hi, this is a question for each of you.
Sorry, can you speak up a little?
Sorry. This is a question for each of you. I was wondering, what was your favorite show, sci-fi show growing up, and what is your favorite sci-fi show now?
Oh, well, let's just run across the board. Roger, go.
I remember this show when I was a kid in Jamaica, Logan's Run. I was like, going way back.
Will I get my 3 years back, Mother? Mother, will I get my 3 years back?
But no, that was a show that I loved. And now, Continuum. That's a great show.
Totes. I would say, yeah, Continuum for sure. And growing up, I really liked Doctor Who. And I don't remember that much about it now, because it's a long time ago. But Tom Baker was my favorite Doctor Who.
I gotta go with Star Trek Next Generation. Jordy was my man. I feel like I'm carrying on the black sci-fi nerd legacy. And now, I don't know if this counts, but I love the show Misfits.
Michael Jordan is so disappointed right now.
What? I don't know. What can you do?
Go ahead. Yeah.
But the show Misfits, does that count as...
I think of the original Star Trek, and yeah, it was the first time as a kid I'd watch it and go, oh wow, there's something really cool here. They're able to tell these stories about now, but from the future, and the diversity as well on screen. I remember being kind of like interested in that. And then now, definitely Continuum.
I don't know if it counts, but I was a big fan of Inspector Gadget. I kind of had a crush on Penny, and I always wanted to be Inspector Gadget. That was my favorite show growing up. I watched it every morning with my toast and peanut butter.
So, I only had 3 TV channels growing up, and we were only really allowed to watch a half an hour of TV a week or a night, and we watched a lot of Jeopardy, which doesn't qualify as sci-fi.
That explains a lot about you, though.
We had family competitions, which also is not sci-fi. But yeah, I was not a big TV watcher as a child. I mean, Cosby Show was something that's also not sci-fi. So I think my love of sci-fi has grown as I've been in the business, and I've had the opportunity to participate in different shows, whether Alias counts or not as sci-fi. I'm pretty sure that it does. But movies, and now obviously in Continuum and being in Star Trek and stuff, I think my love of sci-fi has really been born out of my direct experience working in the industry and with the genre.
I grew up watching a lot of movies. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of TV also, so I mean, obviously huge Star Wars fan. Watched them so many times. It's annoying for people to watch them with me because you just sit there and you quote the whole movie, right? Everybody. But I like a lot of action shows. Manimal, way back in the day. Knight Rider. I loved all those shows. But sci-fi is one of my favorite genres, and I can't wait to go see Oblivion this weekend.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Star Trek, all incarnations. Most of them, actually, and big fan of Mr. Shatner. And my current favorite would have to be Continuum, or else I will get fired. But given my personal working history, I'm rather a big fan of quite a few sci-fi shows, shockingly enough, one of which would be Stargate. And, yeah, there's a few. So, but I've always loved science fiction. I've always loved reading it too, like Larry Niven, awesome, the New World series, all that sort of stuff. So I'm a big fan of the genre in general. And go Star Wars!
Yeah, you know, when you said Knight Rider, that brought me right back. I promised my mom I would buy her a Knight Rider car once I got old enough to be able to afford it. And But I grew up watching the original Star Trek with my grandpa, and it was great because it was something we could connect on. We didn't have a lot of things in common, but for that episode, we'd sit down and we'd talk, and so it was a nice way to connect with him. But really, Voyager is my favorite Star Trek. I own the whole season, and if you don't, you can come up and talk. We'll talk. Janeway, like female captain. Okay. So right now, I think that's, you know, aside from Continuum being the obvious, I love, and I'd watch the show even if I wasn't on it. But it helps that I'm on it because But I think right now, Falling Skies is pretty cool. I like that show, so, and I'm on that too.
Aren't you on that too?
Yeah.
Next question, please. Next question, Francis.
All right, this is for the whole cast and creator, if you like. For the gamers of you, what is your favorite game to play in your downtime? I'm a God of War man myself.
Mario Brothers, first Mario Brothers.
Pac-Man.
Anything where I can beat up my friends.
Rock Band.
I'm a Call of Duty and GTA 4 kind of guy. I can't play those, I'll get a divorce. They suck me in.
I may have a level 54 Demon Hunter in Diablo 3.
Frogger.
Does Candy Crush count?
No. And I'm playing the Arma 3 Alpha right now. So that makes me the nerdiest person up here. I'm actually playing Alpha. You guys even know what that is, do you?
Although I did watch my husband lose weeks of his life to Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
Has anyone ever played? Okay, that's a stupid question, but yeah. And I want a Wabbajack. That's all I'm going to say. I think I need a Wabbajack.
Okay.
Can you arrange that for Sunday?
I can arrange anything.
I lost a few weeks of my life to Splinter Cell.
Oh yeah. Back before I had a career, I played video games.
Assassin's Creed.
So I got a two-parter, kind of a brief thing here. But if you were technologically oriented, you're kind of a geek. If you're more on the comic book side, you're a bit of a nerd. Which out of you guys would be considered more geek or nerd, based on the genre that you follow along? And Verlexa, by the way, Andromeda lives.
Oh, does she? Where? Because she hasn't called me, and I've written her like a ton of times.
I'm gonna have to go with, since I'm not very technologically oriented, I can't be a geek, and since I wasn't into comic books, I can't be a nerd, so I think I'm a dork. It sounds it sounds very similar to those, and yet it's just sort of has the same vibe, but I don't have to align myself with any one genre.
I'll go with Rachel on this one, and I'll be a dork too. The thing about nerd and geek is it, for in my case anyway, probably not in yours, it implies some kind of intellectual accomplishment, which I so don't have. So I aspire to geekdom or nerddom, I guess. I look up to it and wish I could embrace it, just be one. But in the meantime, while I try, I'll settle for dork.
And nobody else wants to admit anything.
I would consider myself a techie more than a nerd. I like new technology, and I like building things and stuff like that. I'm a nerd.
I would say kind of a nerd geek hybrid, because I'm kind of bad at technology, but I like video games, but I'm more of a comic book dude. There's a difference. There's a difference. The gentleman explained. A nerd is more tech, and a geek is more comic books, right? Is that what it is?
I think
Yeah.
No, you were right, Omar. Don't dump yourself. Don't let Roger screw with you, dude.
This is what happens on set. I start doing a scene, it starts off well.
Sky is blue. Roger says it's green. Omar goes, really?
I can't defend you from this side of the table, Amari. So usually I'm there to help him out, but I'm way over here.
All right, we only have time for 2 more questions, so we'll do one here and one on the other side. Go ahead.
So this question is for Lexa. The relationship that your character has with Tony Amendola's character seems to be like, you know, a very close relationship, and I was wondering, did you...
That's one way of putting it.
Get your head out of the gutter, Roger Cross.
Just saying.
Did you two like prepare beforehand in order to kind of create that bond before it, like or?
I had worked with Tony a little bit on Stargate and knew him through my husband, and I think everybody up here who's worked with Tony can agree. He is probably one of the most talented actors alive. And it's funny because, you know, you look at films and you see these incredibly talented actors that win awards and all this other sort of stuff. Tony could easily hold his own with any of them. That's how unbelievably talented this man is. So in terms of bonding with Tony, it's very easy to do because he's such an open, loving, and generous person, which also makes it easy for me as Sonia to really care about what he's saying and what he's doing, and frankly buy whatever he's selling, because Tony can do it. And so, yeah, I have a great love of Tony Amendola.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have one more question, then we're going to show you the first 5 minutes of episode 1 for season 2. So go ahead, young man.
I have a question for all the cast. I was wondering, out of all of you, who do you think would switch sides?
Great question, by the way.
Carlos, for sure. He was changing sides like you got no, but yeah, you're going to change sides. Totally. Totally.
No. I say Kira will come to the dark side.
Oh, really?
Are you her father too?
Hello, Daddy.
Anybody else?
That wasn't meant in any way.
I think anyone is capable of switching.
Absolutely.
You know?
Except for Carlos.
I don't know. I feel like I gotta say, Lobo. You're kind of.
But I'm already kind of.
Yeah, you're already flip-flopping. So whose side are you on, man?
There's a third
or
side.
Dylan. Dylan would be a fun one.
Guys, no spoiler, but I feel like Alec might be going to a dark place. I don't know why I get that feeling, but.
Wow.
Ooh,
That's so insightful.
Wow.
They're not all home runs, people. They're not all home runs.
Well, thanks for those questions. Really appreciate it. We're going to show you the first 5 minutes of episode 1 now. So I'll give these guys a chance to get out of the way. And then after the screening here of the first 5 minutes, I'll come back and we'll do a little handing out of things. Yeah, we'll do that after the screening. Okay, thanks guys.
My head's killing me.
Okay, let me get you something. I've got some meds in my travel kit.
It feels like something went wrong with my CMR.
Your CMR?
Mom? Oh, sweetie, come here. I'm fine. I didn't mean to wake you up. I don't know, a download went wrong or a chip failure. Don't worry, it's getting better already. I promise.
I don't think so. Kagami was very specific. I take over Liberate.
I've no doubt. You've proved your loyalty time and time again. That's what I want you to think about what that loyalty means. You can't do this. I know you better than Kagami. You can't do this, not to me.
Real quick, and thanks guys for answering all the questions here today. And if you wouldn't mind giving them a round of applause too. And thank you fans for being so great, loyal, and supporting Continuum. For those of you who have gold tickets, apparently there's some goodies at the back right part of the room. And of those of you who have white tickets, there's some goodies at the back left part of the room. So anyone who has white or gold tickets, I guess you're in for a treat. But I just want to say thanks to the cast here, everybody, and for making an effort to come to Fan Expo, and we appreciate you. Thanks, guys. Okay, tell me, here we go.